Libra. I'm Ronique and welcome to Scorpio Soul Time. I hope you all are doing well. Welcome to your June 2025 monthly tarot reading. This is where we're going to look at the astrological energies of the month of June to see how it can affect your life. We have big movements in the sky. Jupiter enters Cancer this month. Jupiter does change signs once a year, so this is big energy. We also have the Sun in Cancer squaring both Neptune and Saturn in Aries. Remember, Neptune and Saturn are both freshly in the sign of Aries. So this is going to be very big, as well as Mercury in Leo will enter retrograde shadow by time we get to the end of June. So Libra, a lot going on. 2025 is going to be that year where we are saying that probably every month, but I will tell you, June is the month to get stuff done. We will have good momentum here this month. We don't have any planet, at least any personal planets, retrograde at this time. So if you're trying to apply for jobs, if you're trying to buy a big ticket item, whatever you're trying to do, get it done before July. Okay, so let's get right into it, Libra. If you haven't taken a look at those mid-May through mid-June career readings, I will leave the link below. If you haven't subscribed, I would love if you would. Perfectly free for you. All you have to do is hit the subscribe button. All right, Libra, let's get into it. So you start off the first week of June, Two of Pentacles in the reverse, as well as the Wheel of Fortune. So possibly some good news coming in, decision about a job possibly. Four of Cups by the time you get to the second week of June, along with the Ten of Pentacles. So it looks like conversations possibly around money in your household could be conversations this month. Look at that. By the time you get to the third week, Nine of Pentacles. Wow, Libra, you all are having some money conversations, as well as the Lovers card. So Gemini energy here, another major arcana. And by the time we move to the end of June, we do have the Nine of Swords, possibly worried about all of these conversations that you all are having. And look at that, you end with the Star card. So beautiful energy to end on, especially with that Aquarius energy, working with groups of people. I do think that many of you all are having some conversations with people at your work. Now I say that because on the bottom of the deck, when I just turned it over, look at that, Five of Wands. So the Five of Wands could be strife, people in your life you're not getting along with. So just keep that in mind as we move through the month of June. All right, Libra, let's find out what Spirit has for you. Spirit, if you can send me a card representing the energy that my Librans bring into the month of June. And what do we have for you, Libra? You have the Ace of Cups, but in the reverse. So I think it's interesting that this Ace of Cups has all of the moon cycles. And I do think that for many of you all Libras, this is going to be a time to really look back over the last few lunation cycles, just to figure out where is it that maybe you haven't been following your intuition. I do think for many of you all, back in March, April, and May, you all have been getting little inklings, little information from your spirit guides that you have been ignoring. Spirit is telling you this is not the month to do that. Really make sure you're paying attention, you're listening, you're meditating, you're getting out into nature, because this is really going to help you this month. And Spirit is saying it has some messages for you. It has some information for you. So you're going to need to pay attention, okay? Now, what I also think is interesting, every time I put down the deck, I see something interesting. So this Wheel of Fortune, you have that first week. And when I put down the deck, look at that. That is the other Wheel of Fortune. So some luck could find you this month, Libra, which is really nice to see. Spirit, if you can send my Librans an oracle message card for the month of June. And you have Truth, number 20. So Truth is very similar to the Justice card. Where is it that you have been seeking truth? Where is it that you have felt like life has been in balance? this is going to be a month where you are asked to speak your truth or consider your truth above all else, and not just assume that what you see is the truth, okay? And I do think this is a very specific message. If you are someone who's been led astray from others or by others, this is going to be a month to really trust your own instincts, trust your intuition, and really discover your own truth. And I think that's really interesting because I'm now realizing that that is your card, Libra. So you basically have come into your own reading with this card because you all are the balance, the scales. And so really determining whether you are living your own truth, speaking your own truth, this is going to be what the main focus is for you this month. Now, as you move through the month, really look at Libra, where it is that you want to focus on, because I think you all have a lot going on. And I do think that as you start off June, Venus conjunct Chiron in Aries on the 1st, and then Venus enters Taurus on the 6th. Venus loves being in Taurus. It is one of the best placements for Venus. And I do feel like you will have some money conversations going on. And I do think that many of you all could have either been offered a job, maybe more than one job, or you have been applying for jobs, or this also could be a twist of fate comes along with this Wheel of Fortune right around when Mercury enters Cancer on the 8th. And this is going to be conversations that affect your family. And I do think that you all have been having networking conversations with other people. And there's something here that comes in that you were not expecting, but it could help your family. It could set you all in a better path. But I do think that there's these kind of like up and down emotions as to whether or not it's going to be worth it. You may have to move. You may have to spend more late hours. So really think this through, Libra, as you enter into June. Now, by time we are moving into mid-June, 4 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Remember what I said about your family. I do think that by time we get to June 9th, Jupiter enters Cancer. This is now a whole big shift for the next year around your family, your home. Is there a opportunity here for you to level up in your finances, or are you ignoring your family? Are you ignoring your family life, what your family needs? A good example is I just had a parent have surgery and had to live with me for the last few months. And that was totally not on me and my husband and my daughter's radar, and it definitely was something that we didn't know, but it's like afterwards we were so glad we were able to do it. And I do feel like that's what that 10 of Pentacles in reverse is. It's like you're wanting to help a family member, or maybe there's an inheritance conversation that comes up here, what to do with that inheritance. Sagittarius full moon comes just a few days later on June 11th. So expect some kind of conversations around possibly travel, worldly kind of conversations, but also where is it that you're ignoring emotional energy here, okay? And I do think that there's some kind of truth coming out in this family conversations because you remember you got that truth card, and I do think that by time you get to that 3rd week in June, the Lovers card is Gemini energy in reverse, and the 9 of Pentacles. Right around the 15th is when we have Jupiter in Cancer squaring Saturn in Aries, and then we also have Mars in Leo squaring Uranus in Taurus. So this is money conversations, but I do think it's you looking at your own finances and you're like, you know what? I understand my family needs their happiness and whatever, but I actually need to look at what I want. And I feel like you and your spouse, you and a partner, you and a family member are like, I'm not quite sure if this is the direction we need to go. We need to focus more on what we've already built. And I think that's going to be a big conversation for you this month. And since you got this Gemini card, you could have lots of conversations with your family, conversations with your loved one. But you also need to be very focused on what you want at this time, Libra. You are a very relationship type person and sign. So make sure you're not putting everyone's needs above your own, okay? So that is going to be really important for you during this June month. And I do think that by time you move to the end of June, Nine of Swords, the Star card, this is really nice energy because now Mars has entered Virgo. We now have the Sun in Cancer squaring Neptune in Aries and squaring Saturn in Aries on the 22nd and 23rd. This is energy of like home, work, family, maybe unrealistic expectations. Do not let it get to you though. You cannot get to a point where you are not feeling good about yourself. A Cancer new moon on the 25th is going to be an opportunity for you to reset the family unit, okay? Really pay attention to what comes up around that Cancer new moon. I do think Mercury entering Leo on the 26th and then Mercury in Leo entering its retrograde shadow on the 30th is when things start to slow down. So really make sure that you're not in this panic or anxiety mode. You have people around you with that Aquarius star card that are going to help you. And I do think a week later on July 4th, when Neptune turns retrograde in Aries, this is when the big slowdown occurs. So I do think, Libra, use this month to find out what kind of connections you need to make with certain people, what type of money you would like to be making. Also, how does this family unit work? If it's not family, it could be a business partner, but there is something here very much around family, yourself, making decisions about money. So I hope this is helpful for you, Libra. Excuse me, take a look at your sun, moon, and rising signs, and I'll talk to you later.